That's live. How you doing tonight? Thank you for coming out to our Fantasia concert. My name is Leah. I see a lot of new faces in the audience this season, which is really great. I'm Director of Education and Outreach at Central Florida Community Arts. And if you're excited, make some noise. We're going to have our pre-show performance by our elementary string ensemble, who are awesome. They're going to be treating you to a little music, and then we're going to bring out our Young Artists Orchestra, and they will be playing the rest of the concert. It will be a one-act concert with no intermission, but if you do need to use the restroom or leave at any time, those main exit doors are going to be your best bet right out to the lobby. Restrooms are to the left. We do ask that you please refrain from flash photography while we're in the venue. Please feel free to take pictures and video, but flash or like those big recording lights the iPads have, no bueno, just get rid of that. Also, turn off your ringers, turn off any sort of sound-making device you may have, just for the sake of our performers. They are, some of them, very young and easily distracted, so we don't want to interfere with the beautiful music of tonight. So thank you so much for coming out to support our youth programs here at Central Florida Community Arts. Just a quick rundown for those of you that may not be familiar. We are a very large organization. We have an adult community choir, more than 300 voices, an adult symphony orchestra, about 180 players, a community theater, which I know a lot of you guys are in. Yay, you guys' concert is coming up in June, correct? Or July. Is it June? Thanks, Symphonic Broadway. We've got the posters outside. We have a youth musical theater program, youth vocal performance programs, and of course our Young Artists Orchestra and elementary strings program. Some of the kids are in more than one program. I commend those parents for being at CFCA Arts like every night of the week. We also have, of course, our School of the Arts, which has an academy where many of your students take private lessons, outreach programs in the community, arts and wellness programs in hospitals and special needs facilities, and our arts and action programs for senior adults. So we are very busy all the time. This is one of about 36 main stage performances that we do every year. We see more than, I think it's like 3,000 people on our stages of all ages every year. So yeah, that's pretty intense. Our next show is actually this coming week, Thursday and Friday at Northland Church. We're doing Spectacle, which is our big community choir show. Our orchestra members, some of them are also playing for that. And then in June, the first weekend of June, we'll have our last youth performance of the year. Our musical theater group will be doing The Secret Garden at Wekiva High School, June 7th and 8th. We also have a very large spread of summer camps coming up, including a Young Artists Orchestra camp and some elementary instrumental camps. Grab a pamphlet at the ticket table if you're interested in those. We're going to strike all the ticket stuff. We are going to leave that for you to take if you're interested in that. Of course, we have scholarships available for all of our programs. Please feel free to contact us and just let us know what you need, and we will try and help you out. We are going to do a discount this year on our elementary instrumental and our Young Artists Orchestra camps for strings and winds for currently enrolled members, so that's you guys. So you can contact us, and we'll also send out a link after the performance once we've got a chance to get that PayPal link set up for you guys. So if you're interested in signing up for that camp, we would love to give you that discount. All right, am I forgetting anything? I think we're good. So without any further ado, I present the elementary string ensemble.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Jimmy Gillum, and I'd like to welcome you tonight on behalf of the YAO and my fellow colleagues, Jose Fernandez and Brian Bunera. We'd like to welcome you tonight for tonight's YAO performance. When you take a look at your programs, you'll see that the big words Fantasia on the cover. In music, when a composer writes a fantasia, it's a free-form composition for them. There came a time where composers didn't want to just write, simple dances or many of the forms that most composers have to write in. They wanted a little bit more freedom in order to kind of paint the music of their dreams, of their imagination, the things that they wanted to see. So with this program of Fantasia, what we're aiming to do is to kind of open up the imagination in the minds of the students and let them see these different images that were created through music by these wonderful composers. So for example, when you have like our opening work with the March of the Lions, St. Saëns was inspired by the King of the Beast to present this kind of royal march dictating or representing the lions as they were in parade. Or if you go to the Tchaikovsky, the Romeo and Juliet, Tchaikovsky is inspired by Shakespeare's work of these star-crossed lovers whose love is fated to end in tragedy. And you can hear all of that drama within his overture that he sets at the very beginning of this huge and massive work. Then as the concert progresses, you'll see performances of Dukas, of his Sorcerer's Apprentice, where he's writing these wonderful magical sounds and tales and fantasies, and he's spinning these sounds. Many of these sounds you'll hear later on borrowed by people like John Williams to put in things like Harry Potter, because they're so iconic to that kind of mystical and magical spell that is weaved. Or the Jupiter, this massive work that depicts the planet itself and the background behind that inspired Holst in his writing. Or if you go into the March of the Scaffold, this work from the Symphonie Fantastique, it's a beautiful work where the hero is having this dream where he feels that he's been accused of actually murdering his lover, and now he's being driven to the scaffold, and everyone is kind of cheering as he's about to lose his head, literally, quite literally, in this performance. So all of these different stories are being kind of presented in these tales. We move into different sounds as we get into kind of the more jazzy type sounds with the Gershwin, who presents this Rhapsody in Blue, which depicts the American landscape of a busy, bustling city, and it's combining those classical elements that people came to know with these new jazz forms to create a brand new American sound. Or when you go into the Pink Panther, Mancini's great work, that becomes almost iconic to those Pink Panther movies that would come after it, or those cartoons of the Pink Panther walking around. So all these different images that the music would depict to us. And then we end with this great locomotion, like great locomotion type feel. And you'll hear in the orchestra the actual sounds of the train being imitated between them actually making the sounds of the steam or the whistling of the train or the bustling of the tracks as this train just goes on this great adventure that gets faster and faster and more exciting. So we hope that as you are listening, that you'll sit back and you'll kind of open your minds, open your imaginations to the sounds that inspired these works. And we hope that that will kind of help guide you in your own listening as you enjoy tonight's concert with our wonderful YAO students. So again, thank you for coming out. We'll welcome you all and hope you enjoyed tonight's show.
Hey. Thank you so much for again being here. My name is Brian Muir. I'm one of the directors, as Mr. Jimmy has introduced us earlier. And before we get into our final piece, I just want to get a few recognitions. We have some volunteers in the orchestra that assisted us this weekend. So if we have from our adult orchestra, the symphony orchestra. So if you're a member of the adult orchestra member, can you please stand up? Can we give them a little recognition? The point of our organization, again, we're a community organization, so the adults are helping to bring these youth groups into what they're eventually going to do in the future, especially when we get seniors and they graduate, give them a home and give them a place that CFCA still has a place for musicians, no matter what age they're in. Our final piece, where we wrap things up, is called The Great Locomotive Chase. This one's probably an intense one. So we're going to be on a train ride. This train, it's going to be chased, so we're being chased. So hopefully you enjoy this final piece. Again, thank you so much for coming tonight, and we hope that you enjoyed all of our programs tonight. Without further ado, this is Great Locomotive Chase.